Certain grocery shelves across the country are being quietly cleared right now. Not rice, not beans. 9 specific foods that most people walk past every week without a second thought. By the end of this video, you will know all 9, the real reason behind each one, and exactly what to do about it this week, while the window is still open. Nearly 7,900 grocery stores are projected to close in 2026 alone, but store closures are not the real problem. The real problem is what is disappearing from the stores still open, and why some of it is not coming back at the same price, or in some cases at all. These 9 items each fill a specific nutritional gap that standard pantry staples cannot. Together, they are what separates a real food reserve from just a calorie count. Number 9. Canned sardines and mackerel. 3 years ago, a quality tin of sardines in olive oil cost around $2. Today, that same product from the same brands runs $4 or more at most retailers. A full 100% price increase in 3 years. But price is not even the bigger concern. Availability has become genuinely inconsistent. Grocery chains across multiple regions are reporting sardine and mackerel shelves that are partially stocked or completely bare, not as isolated incidents, but as a recurring pattern with no clear resolution. The driver is documented. Major international fisheries have formally reduced their catch quotas in direct response to declining fish populations and shifting ocean temperatures that are changing where these species spawn and migrate. Overfishing and climate-driven ocean changes are compounding each other simultaneously. When quotas fall, global supply shrinks. When supply shrinks and demand stays steady, prices rise and availability becomes unpredictable. From a nutritional standpoint, a single can delivers high-quality protein, healthy dietary fat, and omega-3 fatty acids at concentrations that rival many fish oil supplements. Research consistently links omega-3 deficiency, measurable over weeks, not months, to declines in focus, mood stability, and immune function. Go for the olive oil-packed versions. Most cans carry a shelf life of 3 to 5 years. The price trend alone makes the case for buying ahead. Number 8. Canned tomato paste. This one catches people off guard. Tomato paste, under $1 a can for decades. How does this become a shortage item? Start with one number, 95%. That is the documented share of all processed tomatoes in the United States grown in a single geographic region, California's Central Valley. Not roughly, not approximately, 95%. That region is currently under pressure from multiple directions at once. Water restrictions tied to prolonged drought have limited both planting and irrigation. Labor costs have become serious operational challenges at both the farming and processing levels. And the overall cost of running an agricultural operation in California has increased enough that smaller producers are scaling back or leaving entirely. Because production is so geographically concentrated, there is no meaningful domestic backup when output drops. You cannot redirect sourcing to processors in another region. Those processors do not exist at the required scale. Add a packaging problem on top. Rising steel and aluminum costs have pushed up production costs for canned goods across the board. When margins tighten, food companies cut low-margin products first. Small cans of tomato paste are low margin. Grocery staff are already describing back orders running 6 weeks or longer, with partial shipments selling out within hours. The practical value is clear. Tomato paste is one of the few shelf-stable ingredients that genuinely transforms other foods. Rice and beans become chili, canned vegetables become soup, pasta becomes a meal worth eating. In a long stretch of limited variety, that kind of transformation matters more than most people expect. Number 7. Bulk yeast. Most people have never thought about where yeast actually comes from, or how few facilities produce it. Yeast production in North America is concentrated in a small number of highly specialized plants. It is not a product you scale up overnight. Yeast is a living organism requiring controlled fermentation environments, precise equipment, and careful temperature management through every stage of production and distribution. When demand outpaces those facilities, the gap does not close in days, it closes in months. Here is the path that led to the current situation. When home baking surged in 2020, manufacturers expanded production to match. When that wave cooled, they scaled back down. But the habit of baking at home did not fully disappear. A meaningful portion of people who started in 2020 kept going. Baseline demand today is measurably higher than 2019. Production capacity has largely reverted to pre-2020 levels. The numbers do not align. Standard yeast packets kept at room temperature stay viable for roughly 6 months. Refrigerated, about a year. Frozen, close to 2 years. But there is a significantly better option most people overlook: vacuum-sealed commercial yeast in 1-pound blocks, stored in a freezer. This format maintains full viability for 5 years or longer, with almost no quality loss. Each block is the functional equivalent of more than 60 individual retail packets, at a fraction of the cost per unit. Without viable yeast, the ability to bake bread from basic ingredients simply disappears. And unlike most items on this list, there is no real substitute. Number 6. Cooking oil in large format containers. 2 years ago, a 1-gallon jug of standard vegetable or canola oil cost around $6. Today, that same jug runs $12 to $14, more than double in 24 months. But the price increase is only part of the problem. Large format containers have also become genuinely inconsistent on shelves. On multiple recent occasions across different store chains, gallon jugs were simply absent, not low stock, not 1 or 2 remaining, completely gone. The causes are layered. Ukraine was historically one of the largest global exporters of sunflower oil. That supply has been severely disrupted. Palm oil faces output restrictions and increasing regulatory pressure in key producing countries. Soybean oil prices have climbed alongside broader grain cost increases. These are structural shifts working through every layer of the global supply chain, not temporary disruptions with clean resolution timelines. Here is what most people overlook until it matters. Dietary fat is not optional. The body requires it to absorb fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. It is essential for hormone production and sustained neurological function. Most core pantry foods, rice, beans, grains, canned vegetables, contain almost no fat. A food supply built around those staples without an adequate fat source will produce real nutritional deficiencies within weeks, regardless of total calorie intake. A gallon of vegetable oil contains roughly 30,000 calories. At today's price, that is less than half a cent per calorie. Most purpose-built emergency food products cost 5 to 10 times that per calorie. Calorie for calorie, cooking oil is one of the most cost-efficient items you can store. Practical rotation system: keep 1 to 2 gallons stored, pull the oldest every 2 months, replace immediately. Coconut oil is worth keeping alongside it. Its higher saturated fat content keeps it stable for 2 to 3 years at room temperature with minimal rotation required. Number 5. Bulk bouillon. 1 cube. The size of a sugar cube. Weighs almost nothing. Costs almost nothing per unit. Most people see it and think, seasoning, a nice extra, not essential. That framing is a mistake. 1 cube produces roughly 1 cup of seasoned broth for about 5 cents. A can of store-bought broth costs around $2 for the same volume. That is 40 times the cost for an identical result. And 200 bouillon cubes fit inside a container roughly the size of a shoebox. The equivalent in canned broth would fill dozens of heavy cans across multiple shelves. But the economics are not even the main point. The main point is what bouillon does to everything else in your pantry. Plain white rice cooked in broth is a completely different eating experience from plain white rice cooked in water. Canned beans simmered with bouillon and a small amount of fat become an actual meal. Canned vegetables and broth become soup. This one ingredient functions as a flavor multiplier across your entire food supply. There is a documented psychological dimension most preparedness content ignores. The morale erosion that builds during extended periods of monotonous eating is real and measurable. Research in military and humanitarian contexts consistently shows that flavor variety is one of the most effective practical interventions available. Bouillon meaningfully slows that erosion. 800 cubes, 400 chicken, 400 beef, costs around $60 total. That is 800 servings of broth at roughly 7 cents each. The cost to utility ratio is nearly impossible to match with any other single item. The problem? Bulk format containers of 200 cubes or more are increasingly hard to find. Warehouse stores that carried them reliably now show empty shelves with no restock dates. Buy bulk bouillon when you find it. Number 4. Shelf stable. Bacon fully cooked, vacuum sealed. No refrigeration required. 18-month shelf life. The first reaction most people have is skepticism. That is understandable. But 30 seconds in a pan changes that quickly. The smell, the flavor, the unmistakable experience of a recognizable food in an unfamiliar situation. Here is why it earns its place. Most core emergency foods, rice, beans, pasta, canned vegetables, are carbohydrate-heavy and nearly fat-free. Dietary fat supports satiety, hormone function, and fat-soluble vitamin absorption. Adding shelf-stable bacon to those meals meaningfully changes the nutritional profile. There is also a psychological dimension that preparedness content consistently underestimates. In prolonged situations where food variety is restricted, monotony builds quietly and erodes household morale before anyone names it. Research on extended food restrictions shows that sensory familiarity is one of the most effective stabilizers available. Bacon has one of the most recognizable aromas in the food world. Adding it to a basic rice or bean dish does not just change the flavor, it changes the feeling of the meal. Worth noting, several brands that produced shelf-stable bacon reliably just 12 to 18 months ago have moved to backorder status or quietly discontinued the product. When manufacturers are contacted about timelines, responses are vague. Production challenges cited, no resolution date given. The availability window at a reasonable price is shrinking. Act while it is still straightforward to find. Number 3. Canned butter. Most people have never bought this, never thought about it, never noticed it on a shelf. That invisibility is exactly what makes the current supply situation easy to miss. There are only 3 major producers in the United States manufacturing genuine shelf-stable canned butter at commercial scale. 3 companies supplying the entire country. Under normal conditions, that is already a fragile supply chain. Conditions right now are not normal. 2 of those 3 producers have recently run into significant operational problems. One facility experienced a fire that substantially cut output capacity. The second is facing a shortage of the actual metal cans needed to package the product, slowing production to a fraction of normal output. Rising demand meetings sharply reduced supply from 2 of the 3 producers in the entire market. That is the formula for a shortage. The storage case is strong regardless. In cool conditions, canned butter maintains quality for 5 to 10 years. A standard refrigerator stick starts degrading within 3 to 4 weeks. Even frozen butter develops freezer burn after about 6 months. One can typically holds the equivalent of 3 standard sticks at a per-ounce cost fairly close to fresh butter, but with a shelf life measured in years instead of weeks. Farm supply stores that stocked this reliably just 6 months ago are now selling out quickly and restocking slowly. That window is narrowing. Number 2. Evaporated milk in pull-tab cans. Real shortages do not begin with headlines. They begin with small gaps, a partially filled row, a product there one week and gone the next, an out-of-stock tag that eventually stops getting replaced. Pull-tab evaporated milk is following exactly that pattern right now across multiple store chains and regions simultaneously. The reason is simple. When dairy facilities face rising costs or staffing pressure, they prioritize high-margin products first. Fresh milk and cheese generate more revenue. Evaporated milk moves to the back of the line. The pull-tab format is especially vulnerable. It requires additional manufacturing steps that get cut first when production scales back. And that detail matters. In a power outage or evacuation, opening a can without a separate tool is a real advantage. It sounds minor now. It will not feel minor on day 3 of a disruption. Nutritionally, evaporated milk delivers approximately 16 grams of protein per cup, more concentrated than fresh milk. It works in coffee, baking, soups, and sauces. For households with children or elderly family members, a shelf-stable dairy option with no refrigeration needed carries genuine practical value. Number 1. Honey in large format containers. This is the only item on this list that will never expire. Not in the marketing sense, in the literal chemical sense. Honey's water activity level is too low for microbial growth. Its pH inhibits bacteria. It naturally produces trace hydrogen peroxide through enzymatic activity. Archaeologists recovered honey from Egyptian tombs over 3,000 years old and found it still chemically intact and edible. Nothing else in your pantry belongs in the same category. So why is it on a shortage list? Because the format that makes sense for storage, large multi-pound containers, is becoming genuinely hard to find. Small jars are still available. Large format honey is increasingly out of stock or priced significantly higher than 2 years ago. Two pressures are converging at once. Domestic bee colony collapse continues reducing American honeybee productivity, driven by pesticide exposure, habitat loss, and parasites. At the same time, import scrutiny has increased sharply due to documented adulteration. Honey diluted with cheaper sweeteners and relabeled as pure. Both the domestic supply and the import channel are contracting simultaneously. Beyond sweetener, medical-grade honey is used in clinical wound care worldwide. It outperforms most over-the-counter cough suppressants in peer-reviewed studies. It substitutes directly for refined sugar in virtually any recipe. Large containers offer the best cost per ounce, the most efficient storage, and given the indefinite shelf life, there is no rational reason not to buy more than you think you need right now. Here is what ties all 9 items together. Standard pantry staples, rice, beans, canned vegetables, provide calories. They do not provide adequate fat, protein variety, or the nutritional density needed to sustain health over an extended period. These 9 items fill those gaps. They are what turns a calorie count into an actual functioning diet. This is not an argument for extreme stockpiling. It is a practical case for building a modest rotating reserve before these items become harder to find or more expensive to buy. The approach is simple. On each of your next 3 shopping trips, add 2 items from this list to your cart. Done consistently, you will have a real usable buffer, built quietly, without urgency or anxiety. The people best positioned 6 months from now are not the ones who react when shelves are visibly empty. They are the ones who acted when things still looked fine, when the window was still open. That window is right now. Which item are you picking up first? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone.